I climb the steep, narrow stairs to the second floor. Once up, I go from door to door and peep inside until I find her. She's sitting at a tall window with her back to me. I knock quietly, but she doesn't respond. Waiting for a few quiet minutes, I start to approach her. Magda? She ignores me, but I see the muscles in her back tense up. I wait. Still no response. I try again. Magda? Nothing. I decide to go face her and introduce myself. First, I need to figure out if we can communicate. When I stand beside her, she turns to me. Just as I guessed, some savage has beaten her face to a pulp. It's clear to see that she had once been a strikingly beautiful woman. I bite my tongue to keep from reacting in shock. Looking into her eyes, I smile. Grüß Gott, sprechen Sie Deutsch? She nods her head slowly and turns to pick up a tablet and pen. Opening her mouth wide, I see that her tongue has been cut out. Oh, for the love of God! I read that this is a favorite torture of the KGB. I'm afraid I'm going to vomit. So I wheel around to find a wastebasket. Running to grab it, I shake my head vigorously and take some very deep breaths. The nausea passes. She starts writing. As she writes, I gaze out the window and see the bright hues of the fall foliage on the nearby slopes. My favorite time of the year, and I've hardly noticed the beauty here. I'm glad that Magda is safe now and able to enjoy the view. I'm thinking how I'd rather be anywhere than Austria when she hands me the notebook. I came to Vienna to audition for the Volksoper. I studied operetta at the Conservatory in Graz. I gasp, well, for Pete's sakes, I'm a singer too. She smiles for just a second, then the despair reappears. I continue reading. I come from a very poor family in a small mountain village, and I needed to find some paying singing gigs. Everything is very expensive in Vienna. A man came to me after my audition and asked me if I'd be interested in singing some folk opera at a party at his home. He said he'd pay me a professional stipend. I quit reading and turned to her. Wow, this is sounding very familiar. It's really creeping me out. My gut is telling me that I know this man who hired her to sing. This man, was he in his 60s and had a scar right above his brow? I touch my right brow. She nods. Was his name Wilhelm Leitner? She nods again. My eyes close to slits. The fucking bastard. I continue to read her note. I got to the party. It was at his villa and all the guests were men. Soviet KGB. They were very drunk. I sang my songs and then they told my pianist to leave. They told me that Herr Leitner wanted to talk to me about my career. My pianist urged me to leave with him, but I stayed. Soon after he left, a huge KGB officer grabbed me and took me upstairs. I can't talk about the sexual things he forced me to do. But when I refused, he beat me and brought out a knife and said, "That's the last time you'll ever refuse anyone, bitch." I grab and squeeze her hand. I'm so sorry that you were treated so inhumanely. How did you escape out of there alive? I anxiously wait for her response. Herr Leitner called for an ambulance. One of the other Russian soldiers gave me first aid until the ambulance arrived. Herr Leitner kept telling me that he didn't know that things would get so out of control. He also kept telling me that he'd take care of my medical bills. She begins to weep. Through gritted teeth, I add, and I promise you with every bit of my heart that all those men will be punished or killed, or I'll die trying. I jump up to leave, but she grabs my skirt. Looking down, I see what she's writing. She holds up a sheet with a large, bold print. Pop-off. Her eyes widen with horror as she points to her mouth. I nod and leave for the tents.